And obviously, it's been a disaster at the Beff River, which rose above 60 feet this week. For some perspective, the river level there has surpassed 60 feet only 4 times since the 1940s, with the record being 62.55 feet in 1991.
TWILA's Karl Wiggers grew up right near there. He takes us to Franklin Parish, where backwater is now a serious issue on his family's farm.
Backwater. That used to be my grandfather's CB handle. He, my Uncle Mike, and my dad Scott formed Backwater Harvesting. The idea of backwater is nothing new to the partners of Wiggers Farms. What is rare to find is this much water here on the farm.
You look out here, it looks like it's not a whole lot of water. We're sitting on a turn row, but it actually falls off about 4 foot right here. And there's about, as you can see, you can barely see the top strand of this fence right here.
Drew Wiggers is a partner on the farm where we both grew up. As a partner, he shares the weight of the management decisions that are ahead. With around 1,500 acres planted and hundreds of those acres already underwater, those decisions are as difficult as ever. A track hoe was on the farm the very next morning building this small levee, keeping water from flowing backwards from creeks and bayous onto their cornfields.
Today, you see behind me, we had to build this levee. What we're doing is taking this large relift pump and getting all the water off this field over here. We're gonna have to get some water off of this field and put it on this one, but it's gonna save the acreage on the other side of the road.
That field across the road was planted just before the rain began in early March.
As you can tell, the water went almost up to the top of the ridge there and set so long that it killed the corn. So 3 weeks later, we had to come back and replant it, and now we're looking at backwater flooding into it again.
But what about the water that can't be pumped away? Drew says they'll have to get creative with that acreage.
What we're looking to do, Karl, is something we've never done before and hope to never do again, but is actually planting pieces of fields to soybeans and have corn and beans on the same rows.
Drew doesn't expect to plant some parts of these fields until May.
As you can tell, this center pivot right here behind us, at the very end, the last 2 towers, you can't even see the tires. The water's so high, and those tires are about this high on me.
Even with backwater covering this young corn, Drew has faith that they will still have time to grow a crop on all of their fields.
As long as we don't get too many, more big rains in the next several weeks, we should start seeing the water start to go down.
Unfortunately for my family and many other farmers in northeast Louisiana, this backwater rising is only part of their battle. Around 2 inches of rain fell overnight, only hours after filming this story. With more rain in the forecast and nowhere for that water to go, farmers all across northeast Louisiana have a long, wet road ahead of them. And Kristen, Avery, only a few hours is what I said, and it literally came a flood, and 3 times the water that was already on that field came back and filled that road and actually covered the roads. It was a lot of water.
And your dad had been pumping out all that water. I know he's got to be fit to be tied right now. I mean, I could just hear Scott Wiggers mumbling certain words whenever he sees the forecast and the rain coming down right now.
Yeah, he actually, when I called him, talked to him earlier today, he was getting ready for a nap because he's got to work the evening shift on the tractor running the pump, keeping that water moving.
And for so many people who don't understand that, you think, oh, that's just one more thing for them to do to pump water out. What do I care? That costs money that goes into the input of the food cost that you have to pay at the end of the day. So it's another cost for farmers.
For sure.
Well, thank you very much, Karl Wiggers.